This AI agent runs an entire hotel. It speaks 10 languages, never takes a break, and it doesn't sleep. It answers questions about parking, rooms, pricing, availability, and it checks people in, makes live bookings, sends emails, and even integrates with your existing software. But here's what actually matters. The company that I built this for runs 7 hotels, and this single AI that I'm about to show you actually saves them over $100,000 a year, just by replacing one thing: the front desk phone calls. If that sounds scary and it feels like things are moving way too fast, then you're probably not wrong. So today I'm going to show you exactly what it sounds like, how it works, and how much money you're leaving on the table simply by being too slow to adapt. If you are new to the channel, then welcome. My name's Liam. We've worked with small businesses all the way up to 8-figure enterprises to help them use AI the right way and see these crazy results. I'm not saying this to sound particularly fancy, I just want you to know that this is coming from a place of experience and I actually know what I'm talking about. So that being said, let's dive into the live demo.
Welcome to Hotel Luxembourg. How can I help you today?
Yeah, hello, my name is Liam. I was just wondering if I could bring a pet with me.
Hi Liam, thanks for calling. You'd like to know if you can bring a pet with you during your stay, right? Let me quickly check our pet policy for you. Okay, perfect Liam, yes. Small pets are allowed at Hotel Luxembourg for a cleaning fee of €10 per night. Just a heads up, pets aren't allowed in the restaurant area. Would you like to make a booking for you and your pet?
Kannst du auch jetzt auf einmal mit mir Deutsch sprechen?
Ja, natürlich, Liam. Ich kann gerne auf Deutsch weitermachen. Möchtest du eine Buchung
Hola, español.
dein Haustier vor? Liam, lo siento. Solo puedo atenderte en húngaro, turco.
Okay, let's continue in English. That was pretty cool. Yeah, let's go ahead and make a booking, please. That would be great.
Perfect, Liam. Let's get started with your booking. Could you tell me your check-in and check-out dates, please?
Yes, this is for just me and a friend for maybe from tomorrow, if that's not too short notice, for 4 nights until the 18th.
Okay, Liam, so you want to stay for 4 nights between November 14th and November 18th with 2 people, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, just a moment. I'll quickly check out system. Liam, we have availability for your dates. You can choose a grand suite for $500 or a basic suite for $280. Do either of those options work for you and your friend?
Does the Grand Suite have a bathtub, by chance?
Yes, Liam. The grand suite comes with a bathtub. Would you like to book the grand suite for your stay?
Well, yeah, if it has a bathtub, then let's go ahead.
Okay, so you're going to book the grand suite for 4 nights from November 14th to November 18th for 2 people. Did I get all of that correct?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, great. I'm just sending you a booking link to
All
your
right,
phone.
let's see. There we go. I got the email. Fantastic.
November 14th.
Cool. Yeah, I
Awesome.
just got
Liam,
the
your
email.
booking's being
Yeah.
final. Perfect, Liam. Your booking is now all set. If you need anything else or want to make changes, just let me know. Thanks for choosing Hotel Luxembourg. Looking forward to welcoming you and your friend and your pet.
Excellent. Thank you so much. See you. Bye-bye. All right. So how cool was that? It was able to, first of all, answer all of our questions, speak in quite a few different languages. I just showed you 3, but it's actually a lot more. As the title of this video says, right, it's 10 languages. And then it actually sent us a confirmation email after checking in the system. So all of this might look super technical for you. I can explain that in the second half of the video. But yeah, how cool is this? Right? It's actually some useful actions that it can take, just like your front desk stuff. So I'll explain how this works later, but I think the most interesting part now is how much money and time this actually saves. So this little workflow over here, what we do is once the call ends, we send data like the call cost, the call duration, what happened on the call, we send that to Airtable. And in Airtable, we collect all of these records, right? So as you can see, this one was a question, this one was a booking, probably got some cancellations down here as well. And I'm going to have to blur out the phone numbers, of course, because that's company data I can't show. But as you can see, we collect all of these. And then what we do is we first of all categorize them. So we know that here, for example, we have quite a few records for booking, then cancellations, a few questions, and so on, right? And that really gives you a good idea of what the AI has been doing. Now, I'll be completely honest with you, we also categorize failures, right? So in this case, we have a 1% failure rate within the time frame that we took here, which is not bad, right? So it's 1 to 2%. And by failure rate, this doesn't mean that it starts to hallucinate or say things it's not supposed to. The way we measure failures is that if the AI has to transfer the call to the front desk, because if it can't answer the question, the call gets forwarded to your real humans, that's what we think of as a failure. So when the AI is not able to answer something, it goes to the front desk. But I think that's a pretty good metric because, 98.19% of calls were actually answered successfully by the AI, which is huge, right? The impact is huge. So let's actually talk about this huge impact. As you can see here, these are, by the way, quick disclaimer, to protect company privacy, this isn't the exact data that we gathered, right? So it's slightly off, but it's very accurate and it's over 1 year. So this is the 12-month outlook, the projections of savings based on data that we've gathered. So overall, it will have made 721 phone calls, right? Which is huge. It's about I think 210 phone calls a day, if I'm not mistaken, which is great, right? This is over 7 locations. Each location got about, I think, 30 phone calls a day roughly. So this is the amount of phone calls it will have made. The human hours that it saves is huge, right? Thousands, literally thousands of hours in human time saved, which also means that you save a lot of money, right? As you can see, in human labor, they have saved $96,511.01 in 12 months, every single year. And as soon as you start to grow your hotel and more people call, the savings, of course, also increase. So the AI cost that you basically spend on the AI to run is only $18,000, which is great, right? Like it's less than you would pay one employee over the year. It's about, like 1.4 thousand a month or something like that, which is great, right? It's super, super cost effective. And of course, also it's not a downgrade. This AI, the thing that I like the most about this, sure, it can make bookings, sure, it can speak like a human in many languages, but it's always available. So it genuinely, there's no more wait time because you can call this thing 10 times at once, 1,000 times at once. It doesn't care. If there's 10 people wanting to get an answer at the same time, they can. And they can do it at 2 o'clock in the afternoon or 3 o'clock in the morning. It's always available, which is fantastic. The customer experience here is second to none, right? It's yeah. I mean, there's not really much more that I can say. I hope that these numbers speak for themselves. And in the next step, I'm going to go into more depth on how we actually built this, the prompts, the workflows, and all of that. But if this is just something where you think that your company could benefit from, I've opened up 3 spots for a free AI consultation call in the link down below. It's the first link, first come, first serve, so I hope to see you in there. Great, so these awesome results aside, let's actually talk about how we built this. So there's 2 softwares that we use for this. We used Vappy for the voice AI itself, and then we used N8N to build all of the workflows. So let's quickly run through this, and we'll start with the prompt, right? If you've never seen Vappy before, this is a voice AI agent builder, so a voice AI agent platform, where you can first of all select the model. I always like to use 4.1. We found that that's the best model for voice agents. Then you've got the prompt, the system prompt here. Then you've got the voice, which is, I'll show you how to set that up in a moment. We have the transcriber, which is set to multilingual. So it can understand, basically, the transcriber allows you to transcribe the voice of the caller and then send that into an AI. Then we have tools, which allows it to actually use those workflows. And then a bunch of other stuff, which is not really interesting for us today. But I think the coolest thing for us to look at is the prompt. So let me just copy the prompt into a software that we use called StackEdit. This is where I edit all of my prompts because you put the prompt into Markdown formatting. What this means is that the AI can actually read it better. So it's in a structure that it can understand headlines. And StackEdit just allows you to see if you've made a mistake, right? It's good for you to know. So the first thing that I like to do is say, you don't know anything or can't help with anything except for what is defined in this prompt and the tool calls, right? We're basically telling the AI, you are stupid, except for what happens down here. And this really allows it to start from a clean base, because this AI, like GPT 4.1, the model that we chose, it is so smart. It's been trained on literally the entire internet, which means that we have to limit it. And this is a great way to reduce hallucinations. I've put this at the beginning and the end of the prompt, as you can see down here as well, because the beginning and the end of the prompt is what the AI looks at most. So those are the most important parts of the prompt. So that's just like a sandwich, effectively, like 2 guardrails sandwiching the rest of the prompt. Great, so we're giving it a role, telling it where it works, and then also context, which languages it can speak. As you can see, it's quite a lot. You work at company name. I've changed this, of course, so I don't leak the data. Hotel Luxembourg, so normally this would, for example, say Grand Hotel Luxembourg or something, right? And then we actually give it a variable here, which gets replaced at the start of the call, right? So this would basically be replaced with 14, or today is the 13th of the 11th, 2025. And then the time at this stage is 14:37 as I'm recording this. So this is what the prompt would actually look like. So this basically gets replaced. So important for bookings, right? Because you can't have an AI which you say, do you have something available tomorrow? And it still thinks it's 2023, for example, right? You can't do that. We're telling it that it's in a voice call interaction, specifics on how it's supposed to respond, and then we have a couple of flows. So we have a booking flow, cancellation, change booking, human transfer, and then also tone and style of how it's supposed to sound, giving it some examples of like sure, yeah, to make it sound human. Now these booking flows are instructions of how it's allowed to use these workflows. And what's so important to understand is that we don't give the AI full system access. We tell the AI, you're allowed to use a very fixed set of workflows which do a very fixed thing, like checking for availability between two fixed dates. And that's what this workflow does. It allows the AI to be reliable, and it takes a lot of the decision making away from this prompt. Because if you give AI full system access, yeah, it can screw things up, right? It can make mistakes. But if you only give it access to workflows, which have very limited access to only what you actually need, it's very safe. And I can speak out of experience. There has never been an issue. The worst thing that can happen here is that the AI says, I'm sorry, I'm having an issue. I can't seem to find any available dates. Let me transfer you to a human, right? That's literally the worst thing that happens here. And we've tested this a lot, as you can see. All right, so the booking flow is basically an instruction of how it's supposed to use those workflows. And we basically tell it first, ask for the check-in and checkout dates, then repeat it back to the caller, and then you can use the availability check tool. And what's cool here is if we go to tools, and then we look at availability check, we tell the AI, use this tool for checking for available options and extract from the call the site type. So for example, the, what do you call this? Like, is it a grand suite? Is it a standard suite? Is it a basic suite, right? Then the guest count, the check-in date, and the checkout date. And it extracts those things from the conversation and sends it over here to this webhook. And what this does is it collects it, right? And then it sends that into the system. So I can't unfortunately click into this because these are modules which connect to the actual software this company used. They used a software called Muse, which is a hotel management software. And I can't click into this because it would reveal things that you could use to hack them, more or less. So yeah, this is unfortunately can't show you. But effectively what it does is it sends these things into the software and asks the software like when you were to click on it, right? It's basically simulating clicking on the dates and using it like a human would, just basically from the back end. And then it checks and it tells you if it's available, right? It says it's available. If it's not, we do an alternatives check. So it would suggest alternative times and alternative combinations so that the caller isn't just left hanging. And this principle goes for all of these workflows. So we extract things from the conversation, also for making the booking then, right? Making the final booking, we send that into here. In this case, we were able to send the email to me because it's already found in the system. If it didn't find it, it would ask for your email. Because oftentimes you book with the same hotel and we can cross-reference that. And it's the same thing, right? Also for cancellations, we find the current booking based on the phone number, for example, that they're calling from. Then we cancel it. Or for changing the booking, we can basically find the current booking, cancel the booking, and then check for availability and actually make a new booking in one flow. And I'm not going to go super deep into this because it gets boring after a while. I mean, I find it interesting, but you probably get bored pretty quick. So this is the principle. And the biggest thing for you to take away from this is that AI doesn't get full system access. It just gets access to workflows, and it's like an operator pushing buttons and pressing things to get the outcome that it wants. And this is why it's called an agent, right? It's able to think and decide and take actions and push buttons and execute workflows to achieve a goal that the customer has requested. And that's what makes them so powerful and so robust at the same time. All right, so I hope you learned something new today, from the workflows to the results and of course the amazing sounding demo. If you'd like to work with my company and see if we can set something like this up for your business, then you're welcome to book a free AI consultation call using the link down below. I look forward to hearing from you, and I will see you in the next video.